What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Contractor Secrets Podcast. In today's episode, I sit down with David Chism of A. David Creation. Big fan of David. He is one of those marketing guys that he really cares about the industry. Now, we get bombarded with marketers that care about what's in our pockets. There's certain marketers out there, only ones that I would bring on this show that actually care about the contractor. So I definitely endorse David. You will hear some really good marketing principles in here, and you'll have a way to contact him at the end of the episode. So if you're interested in David's services, you want to explore what he has to offer for you, feel free to reach out. I'll throw something in the bio here, but if you want to learn a little bit about marketing and the way he sees things, this podcast episode starts right now. The big question you need to ask yourself every day is, do I own a job or do I own a business? And unfortunately, the majority of contractors out there own a job. That's right, they're a slave to their own business. But the other side of the fence is so much greener, it's so much better, and that's when you're finally fully in control of your destiny, your freedom, your time. And that's what Contractor Secrets is about. It's about taking back our time, building a business with systems, standards, values, procedures, putting yourself in the driver's seat. And that's what it's about. So I'm excited. I'm happy to have you here. Let's dive into the Contractor Secrets podcast. All right, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Contractor Secrets podcast. I'm here with David Chism, here with A. David Creation Marketing. Let's talk marketing, man. I love talking marketing.
Me too.
So what do you do? How do you do it? Why are you different?
Good question. So what do I do? I'm a marketing manager and consultant for primarily painting companies, but really anyone with a tool belt. So I help them with their marketing plan, and then I help them implement it.
Cool.
Why am I different? I think I've really focused heavily the last 12 years on the painting industry. And so I have a good pulse on what's working across the country. I don't work with just, local guys. It's across the country. So I get to see residential, commercial, industrial guys, see what they do, how it works. And I think that's what separates me from the other guys is focus on the painting. Yeah.
What do you think about SEO? Is it a waste of time? Or do you think that nowadays, because of so much traffic on the first page, I mean, you got so many ads, from the ads at the top to the big lead generation companies at the bottom, first page is getting really hard to tap into. What are your thoughts on contractors investing in SEO, or are they better off like paying for ads and paying for leads?
Let's jump right into it, right? Go right into SEO. I think there's still obviously a place for SEO, or they would be out of business. But I know a good handful of solid SEO firms out there do a good job. But yeah, like what you're saying, Google makes the majority of their money through the ad platform.
Yeah,
the maps are right below that. Then you got organic below that. So and then you got social media on top of that. So you got all these different platforms. So yes, there is a benefit because there's still some smart people out there that go below the fold, and you got to be there.
Dig a little deeper. Those customers that dig a little deeper. Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I do it. You do it. But Google's getting pretty savvy with the paid search and the reviews and all that kind of stuff. With Google My Business. But yeah, it's definitely a place. What I usually recommend for painters is, depending on their budget and all that, is to definitely work up some SEO, make sure your website's all beefed up for a certain time, but I wouldn't go too deep in the SEO market, at least spend a ton of money on that. Focus on some other things. Yeah.
I was hoping you'd say that. Cause like, I really was, because it's like, being a contractor, being in it, seeing it, and then seeing it from a marketing perspective too, I kind of can gauge both sides. And it's like, even as a consumer, very rarely are we going to a website and then we're reading the blog, to find our services, as opposed to if maybe looking for a software and I Google like how to do it, and then I go to the website and that turns me on to whatever product they're selling virtually. I think with local services, really just hard to tap. And I think there's a lot of guys out there who get hit up by SEO guys and they say, all right, well, it's going to be X amount per month for SEO. The problem that I hear is that it just takes so long for them to get that feedback loop going where they can say, okay, this investment has generated me this. There's not that like aha feeling. Have you experienced that at all? Like, as anyone, I mean, I'm sure, but like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And also depends on, I think if there's the competition too. So like, if you're in a heavy metropolitan area, it's going to cost more money, take longer. If a painter's or contractors getting started in a more rural area, it's almost a piece of cake. If they spend
Yeah.
a few months, they're going to be way ahead of most of the
Yeah.
guys. But yeah, it's
Yeah. I
I've
got lucky.
seen
I'm in like both. It's kind of like busy, but it's also very rural. So I got lucky in the beginning, but in big areas, Orlando, forget it. I
yeah,
mean, you gotta compete.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
so gauging kind of what you're seeing in the market, do you find that are you doing anything with Facebook, or are you staying with Google? What are you doing with Facebook?
We're actually doing a lot on Facebook these days. It depends on, again, what the contractor wants to market. So what we're seeing is that the services that are low hanging services, like more specific paint services, are working better on Facebook than others. So like if you're looking for general painting services, interior painting, exterior painting, that's a general, paint. They a little bit more of a challenge on Facebook to get a bunch of leads. You might get leads, but they're not the best. So and so what I usually recommend is like, let's focus on like cabinet painting. So if you have
Right.
a cabinet division, if you got a cabinet shop, if you got a trailer to paint them in, or you can do them on site with the booth and all that. If you have a really good platform to market the cabinets, they actually do really well on Facebook,
Cabinets,
really
yeah,
well.
cabinets are
Uh,
killing it, man. And if you
yeah,
the before picture, the prep,
yeah,
the after,
yeah.
I think really it comes down to is just most people don't even know that cabinets can be painted,
I
you
know.
know.
Yeah, that's what it comes
So
down to. Same
so
with yeah, cabinets are big.
yeah.
Garage floors. I know a lot of.
Yeah.
I've had, last 3 years, I've had a lot of my clients start moving into the flooring business. That was actually popular probably 2000 to 2008, before the economy crashed. There was the epoxy floors then. Now it's like
Yep.
polyurea, polyaspartic. Um,
Yeah.
that's going crazy on Facebook. I mean,
Really?
absolutely insane.
Oh
Uh,
wow. What
not
about
as much
house
as
painters,
Instagram.
man?
Yeah.
How do house painters tap into it? I know exteriors will probably do better than interiors. But do you feel like people should stop focusing on like the before and afters when it comes to that and start focusing on maybe like personality, like walkthroughs, maybe showing the team working? Like, what do you think? Like, because like I feel like, it's hard to get a picture. Oh, look, here's this interior wall that was painted.
Mhm.
Eh,
Yeah, it's hard. I think. I mean, I'm a huge fan of getting good pictures of your work, good videos of your work, and that's a challenge unless you have someone who knows how to hold a camera or phone and do it
right,
with the right lighting. So that's been my challenge with the guys I've been working with, is how do you get the right image?
right.
And the guys that do a good job are you typically the owners, or like they have a stake in the company. They're out there shooting all that. So
Yeah.
if you can get the imagery or hire someone, that's helpful. The before and after still work. I always just tell guys, like, look, if you really, really like this before and after, is it are the colors just wow someone before and after? If it's like, I've seen sometimes where I look at something and go, which one's the before? Like, you change an outside house and the before sometimes looks better than the
Got to
after.
make
I've
it
seen
clear.
that. I'm like,
Yeah.
and then you get comments, you see people like, well, I kind of like the old one better than the new one. So
Yeah.
you really just have to like sit down and think about, people are really going to stop for a moment for 5 seconds and look at this thing. So that's where the before and after still work. But yeah, I think the guys that do a really good job out there in terms of developing their brand on the Instagram, Facebook, are definitely more personalities, so whether it's the owner or the estimators or the people that are jumping in front of the camera, walking them through a job, movement, like video is obviously huge on Instagram and
Trust.
Facebook. Trust. Yeah.
Trust. It's all about trust. Like I got, there was a guy. Listen, I don't need roofing. All right. I don't know how I found them. I think I went to their website or something. Dude, this guy, I feel like I know him like a friend
Yeah.
because the first time it was like, hey, this is whatever. And I'm taking you guys on this roofing job. And he's out there and he's, on top of the roof showing me things to
Yeah.
look for in the roof. Oh, this is cool. All right. So then like a week later, he's like, all right, we're here at a different job. And like, it's just like the way they had it set up, dude, is like, I mean, it's like a story that's being told. And let me
Yeah.
tell you something, man. When roofing ever happens, who am I going to call? I mean, I feel like I trust this person. Um,
Absolutely. Yeah.
so it's really interesting to see.
Yeah.
In terms of like trends, man, in terms of trends, I like to always chat about trends and what you're
Hmm.
seeing in the painting industry as a whole. I mean, trending upward, or do you feel like there's a peak that we're hitting here, or do you think like home improvement and changing spaces has just like blown up and it's not stopping?
Good question. I think I've seen, again, this is just from looking at leads and sales from my clients. seeing a little bit of a slowdown, like exterior painting, depending on the part of the country. So like
Sure.
more on the East Coast, the Philadelphia, the Mid Atlantic, all those areas there, everyone's building homes and businesses with like less painted surfaces on an outside.
Ah, yeah, that's interesting. Like brick, stone.
Yeah, it's everything.
Wow.
I mean, I noticed that when I moved to the East Coast from California, when I moved
Yeah.
out here, I worked for a painter. I was doing some estimates for about a year, and I was shocked at how many it was. I wasn't doing that many exterior estimates. That was that was
Wow.
about 10 years ago, and I was like, okay. And now it's gotten even worse. I've even had clients say, we're not getting that many exterior bids. I mean, when it comes to like the big things like the schools, the universities, the churches, all that, like from a commercial standpoint, that's still fairly solid. But the home market, not so much exteriors. When it comes to interiors, less full interiors I'm seeing. Like people are just going to be more renovating rooms here and there. So I'm seeing smaller job sizes. So, that back the whole idea of like a painter for a day program that people talk about, like just rent a painter, send someone out for a day or two. I can almost see that coming back in as people start moving,
Yeah.
back on
Yeah, I
home and
haven't
working
heard
from
many
home.
people
Yeah.
doing that. I don't
Yeah.
think I would do that.
Yeah.
Personally, just like that service there. I just feel like it's too hard to predict, schedule. And if I have an extra painter to just be sending out, I want them on a bigger job.
Yeah. You
So
want to be, yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think I've ran into
Yeah.
anyone that does that. Do you have any clients you have where they do a painter of the day, or are they just like sole owners or?
Well, yeah, I mean, when my family business out on the West Coast, we did it pretty heavily in the late 90s to early 2000s, like 2005. We actually had a
Right.
guy dedicated. That's all he did was painter for days.
Oh,
He was
cool.
he wasn't good at running crews. He liked to work by himself. So if you get a Lone Ranger painter and they're that good, it's impressive what a painter for a day can do. To me, it's a marketing opportunity. I always would
Yeah.
go out to sell a house and say, like, before you spend 30 grand on this home, why don't you just hire us for a day and check us out? So I kind of
Oh,
use it as
cool.
and I just send that guy out and he'd blow him
Smart.
away,
Yeah. Nice.
with, whatever he's doing.
Nice.
So, but I do see it. It's a possibility for commercial, some light commercial, some that could come back. Right now it's out. I do had a lot of clients that did painter for days, probably in the mid to late 2000, early 2010, 2015. But once things boomed, that goes away. And
Yeah.
if the economy checks out and it goes down, then the painter for day stuff could come
Pops
back
up.
in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, just to get the foot in the
Yeah.
door, build some value. I of course I want to talk to you about really just acquisition and then conversion, right? So you have, when you
Mhm.
when somebody acquires a lead and converts that lead, I've founded Dripjobs. That's something that
Mhm.
we love to focus on, is like that immediate communication to
Yeah.
the appointment. What if what are you kind of coaching up your clients on, like really understanding that sales process, because you've done it, right? When you I
Mhm.
don't were
Yeah.
you at a point when you were working in your painting business where you were like getting leads coming in, or was that more like a word of mouth?
No, we had when I left in 2008, we were about a $2 million residential. So
Nice.
we had a fair amount of leads coming in. Average jobs then was 7,000, 8,000. So yeah, we did the
Hey,
first CRM we ever
high
used was,
residential, or is that commercial?
yeah, all residential. Yeah.
Wow, dude.
Yeah, we were pushing almost 10 grand per job, for residential when I left.
Exciting,
Um,
man. Nice.
I think right now it's like 5 or 6, so it's dropped, and I think
Yeah, it's
that's,
dropped.
yeah,
I'd
but it
like to
used to
see
be
it
pretty
go
high.
back up.
Yeah, I mean that's what we
Yeah,
sold.
that's
um,
crazy, dude.
so we've always kind of used a CRM. Like we started with Act 2000 back in the
Yep.
late 90s, 2000s. Used that, and that was, obviously they're still around, not, but there's,
Wow,
yeah.
never
So
heard of it.
even Act has been, they kind of got it started, then Salesforce jumped in and so like
Okay.
Act was kind of something you installed on servers, and
Wow.
it was really good for customer, like post sale too. It was before the whole sales marketing automation, but it kind of said, hey,
Yep.
you need to follow up with this client, you need to send them a gift, you need to do all that stuff. That's what Act did, and then Salesforce jumps in, and then the CRM world just took off. So yeah, I've been through all that. I tell clients, if they're going to work with me, they have to have some type of CRM, because you need to track leads. You got to
Yeah.
track where they're coming from, and then you got to track I'm not as heavy in the sales side, but they work hand in hand. So I do encourage the sales guys, like, use the CRM, and definitely have a stage of where you're at. You know, where you're at in the pipeline. Got to know that.
We narrowed down 11 stages, and this took me a year to really perfect, because I've just having the experience in the business. I've narrowed down, there's 11 stages, right? So like, and that's condensed, and you tell me if I'm missing one, and I'll let you know if I feel like one should follow. So you got brand new leads that come in from guys like you. Okay. Brand new leads, right? Then you have what I call estimate pending. Okay. And that really means we've spoken to that lead. We've got them on the phone. We communicated in some way, but for whatever reason, they didn't convert. Like, so maybe they didn't buy the house yet, and they still, so estimate pending, stage 2. Then what I encourage my customers to do is take on requests. So like, we have a form that they can request an estimate without like a hard booking. So they can pre-qualify. So that's like estimate requested. Then we got estimate scheduled. So that's 4. And then we got in draft. So whenever we're, composing a proposal, we got to have a list of people, like maybe you're checking material prices, whatever, you're going to have that stage there. Proposals sent. So these are all your, deals that have had proposals out waiting to hear yes or no. And then proposals rejected. So that's like your sales pipeline. That's 7. Now you have jobs, right? So I narrowed jobs down to 4: projects that are pending schedule, projects that are scheduled, projects in progress, projects complete. Do you think I missed one?
No, it looks like you covered it all.
11, bro. I told
you. 11. No, I mean, I'd have to look at some of the CRMs, but I think not including the job schedule, I've seen 7 or 8 in there too. I have a few in there that I'll tell some clients like canceled. So what happens, let's say on some of the lead generation, this doesn't work as well, or at least you got to get a lot of it to get a little book, is something like Facebook or LinkedIn or some of the social media stuff. I'll have several different layers in there. I want to know how many actually came in from those sources, and how many were scheduled, how many were canceled, how many we did not get a hold of. Because that's something we can go back to the social networking. Okay, we got 100 inquiries, but only scheduled 20. What's up with that? Because there's a cost behind it. So, if an estimator or their office team can use all those it makes it easier for me, because then I can jump in and look at their CM and go, hey, if you're not selling anything this month, go back through all your your stages here and kind of try to close these things out. So
it's huge. I mean, and that for me early on in my business, like capitalizing on those leads, like I would buy leads, you're not going to like this, but from Home Advisor. And, that was really just my way of getting out. I didn't know anyone like you. Probably would have gave you a shot. I just didn't know anyone. I kind of just started, heard Home Advisor was good. But really what I loved about, the fact that like just having a little bit of a sales background was like, dude, keep hitting these leads up. There's people that came in 3-4 weeks ago, and I just made it a habit every morning or every other morning to just call each one, and I'd get voicemail, but I just wouldn't give up until I either heard 2 things: stop calling me, I don't want your service, or I'm interested in your service, let's schedule an estimate. So that's kind of what I've learned just from like sales. I'm sure you would agree that's that's
and Home Advisor has its place too. And by the way, I actually do have work with Home Advisor and Angie, all of them too. Guys come to me to have, like, I have national reps too. So I have an Angie's list, or now it's Angie, or a national rep. So I'm kind of the consulting role on that. So if they want to use Home Advisor, that's fine. I'll give them advice. I'll tell them, well, your leads, you're going to get a lot. You're only going to close this much. So if it makes sense as part of the plan, we'll slide Home Advisor in there, Angie, Yelp.
Yeah. So you might actually even do like a broad plan where you're kind of managing that aspect of their marketing spend.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I liked you, man.
I got Yelp in there. I got Angela's. I got web, all that stuff.
What is it? It's like, I tell people this, like, it's like stocks, right? You want to diversify the portfolio, right? I mean, you don't just want one lead source.
No. Yeah. And sometimes we'll do, I do have guys that do really well with Yelp and others that don't. So I'm in there looking at the lead cost and the sale. I'm like, is it worth going into this? And sometimes we just do it in the winter months or something. You don't have that issue as much in Florida and California, but if someone that will turn on Home Advisor a couple times a year, or we'll look at Home Advisor, well, I just want cabinet leads, that's it. So then we'll do that.
It's a little lever. You got to pull it when you need it, and you put it up. What do you, in your honest opinion, what is the difference between a Home Advisor Angie's List lead and a Facebook lead?
Good question. So Angie's List, Angie now works the best when you have been on there longer time. So if you've been on there a very long time, you got a lot of reviews, reports, and you pay you pay for it now. So it's all pay to play on Angie. That's going to be probably your better quality lead that comes in if they know and trust Angie. So if they, especially in a specific market.
I
So
think
like
if they know and trust Angie's list,
Angie's list.
because Angie, and it's so confusing. I don't know why they shouldn't. I honestly personally think they shouldn't have done this, because they have a loyal group of people over there that like love Angie, the lady. She probably made out like a bandit.
Yeah,
but,
she did.
You know, but use her face still. I don't know. But I'm just saying, you know, like those people are probably, you know, they probably avoid they probably lost a lot of loyal customers, because I feel like my profile on Angie, which is Home Advisor, is so confusing, dude.
Yeah.
I have 190 reviews, 5-star. Okay. Yeah. They get 5 other, you know, people that are getting the same information. They don't know me. So it's like, you know, they're not coming there for me, you know.
Well, and I got a client moving to a different area. He's crushed it on Angie's list for years.
That helps.
Moving to a different part of the country to start a second division. So he has to start from scratch, 0. So I was talking to my rep.
Would they take away his reviews?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he still has his other division. Like he's just moving a guy to another state. Gotcha. And so they're like, you're going to have to start a division here. But I mean, I said, well, but we've spent, 15 years when Angie's over here. There's no way to connect the dots. Nope. I'm like, well, that's kind of ridiculous. Because then I told my clients, I don't know if you can take a risk. Now it's a calculated risk, but it's like, you're going to pay Angie's list. And most of the thing I have with not just this company, but a lot of them is it's the 12-month terms too. I don't really like long commitments for software.
Why do you need long commitments on a software if your software
it's either works or it doesn't? Like Google Ads, you can turn it on or pause it the same day. Exactly. Yelp does it right. I mean, they're you can cancel anytime, but
you're out west though, right? Because over here, Yelp it doesn't exist over here in Florida.
No, it doesn't. No, I'm on the East Coast now. I'm in Maryland.
Oh, are you? Okay.
Yeah. No, it doesn't work well here. It does a little bit in New York, a little bit in Washington, D.C. San Francisco, it's huge. I mean, you have to be huge. If you're in San Francisco, you have to use Yelp.
If you're not on Yelp, forget it. Like, okay. Yeah. Rapid fire, man. I know we got a couple minutes here, and I just want to know. Take me into the marketing budget. Someone's starting out. I try to tailor these to the audience, see where they're at. Someone's starting out, maybe got 3 employees, trying to make sure they get steady lead flow. They got $1,000. Where should they spend that money? Wait, I just want to make sure that's just ad spend. If you have someone like obviously David here, you would have to pay him to do his work, which you get paid for your work. You should pay him. What should they spend it? How would you diversify $1,000 today? If I asked you to do that today, someone's starting out, they have a website, they have a logo, they have a Facebook. Okay. Assume all those things, $1,000.
$1,000. Good question. I would probably steer them towards Google Ads to start. If they know how to use Google Ad platform, whether they do it themselves or get, because I think, and go after a low hanging fruit service. So if they're just going broad, painters near me, probably gonna be too expensive. But if they're like, hey, I actually had this happen with a guy who had to start over and came to me, and I said, well, let's pick something. Let's pick cabinets. So he, he'd been a painter for many years, but he kind of started from scratch. So I said, learn as much as you can about the cabinet category and how to paint them. So that's what he did. He had a very little budget. We started with Google Ads. We moved into other things, but that's really what got him back on the map. He's very profitable. I think he's tripled his business in just a couple of years, just doing probably 75% cabinets. He still does the painting because he had to start over, change his name. The client sued him and he got wiped him out. Starts over. So all his Google stuff, everything was gone. He had to start from scratch.
Wait, he got sued by his client?
Yeah, an attorney client who, that's a whole story. I mean, it's awful, but it caused him to go out of business.
Really? But he didn't have general liability to cover?
The courts actually had him pay cash for like on the spot, he had a contract, and then the guy, he did a lien against the house because he didn't pay him, and this guy did a civil suit against him and won. Ooh. It was just crazy. Like the guy knew the system and took him out of business. But just like that, starts over, and so he went from 0 to about $1 million in about 2.5, 3 years, primarily doing cabinets, and it started with just Google Ads. That's it. And so I think that's probably where I'd start and get reviews. So I just had him do the low hanging stuff. start an email campaign, stay in touch with your customers, get those reviews, stay top of mind, and keep the Google thing going, and then move into social and kind of go from there. So
yeah, because it's kind of like a progression, right? You'd say spend heavy, get your name out there, start getting reviews, get some reps in, like, and then from there try to balance some of that out with word of mouth. That's a dream. Yeah.
Yeah, we want the word of mouth and reviews. I mean, like an established paint company, I've worked with the old school guys, been around for 40 years. Those are doing 70-80% repeat referral. That's what you want.
That's amazing.
And that's what we all want to get everybody on.
How do people find you, bro?
They can go to adavidcreation.com. That's the website, but any of the social networks I'm on there, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. They'll if they send a message, it's going to go to me or a team member, but I see them.
So you do kind of like a quick consultation, set them up for, just kind of do a diagnostic, and then, set them up to see if you can help them with Google ads, Facebook, any of those.
So I'll do the 30-minute, just kind of chit chat with them, see what they've been doing, see if I'm a good fit, if they need some consulting or they need me long-term. So I can do just one-off type things. If they would need me long-term, like a quarterback and run the plays, I can do that as well. So
love it. Yeah. Listen, real quick, last point. I know you got to go. Okay. I'm only good at a couple of things. I'd say sales is what I'm best at. I found that I can grow my business as far as I want, as long as I only do what I'm great at. There's some people that listen to this that are really good at what they're great at, which might just be production. So in that case, you should find somebody to do sales for you, and you should find someone to do marketing for you.
Yeah.
In the same way, for me, I'm really good at sales. That's what I think, at least. I find something to do marketing for me, whether it's me paying for leads or, just balancing out what I'm not an expert at. Okay. Cause you don't put me in front of Google ads, Dave. I have no clue what I'm doing, dude. I really don't. I've never even played with it. I can do Facebook ads. It's complicated, dude. I don't even know how you navigate that thing. It's like code. And then again, my strength being sales, I'm not good at production. Don't ask me to paint your house, but what did I do? Put together a team of production to get that done for me. So those listening, whenever I bring someone onto this podcast, I always like to people I endorse, have heard of, know they do great work, but just understand this: you either do it yourself and risk not doing it right, or you hire somebody to do it and get to point A to point B much quicker than you could do yourself, and limit mistakes and optimize your spend. Would you agree with all that?
100%. There's 100%. Things in my business that I don't want to do, and I get help too. So.
Get help. Yeah. And just so you know, instead of writing everything down, try Dripjobs.
That's right.
Yeah. Thanks, man, for your time, David.
Tanner, good.
We'll catch up, brother.
All right,
man.
See you later.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Dripjobs CRM is finally here. That's right. So Dripjobs is an automation platform for contractors, home service professionals that's going to automatically follow up with your customers. It's going to allow you to send invoices, estimates. It's going to allow you to send out blast marketing emails to individuals based on where they are in the buying process. This software is next level. And I'm reaching out to you. You're a listener of this podcast, and I want you to be one of the first ones to give it a shot. So if you want to see what Dripjobs can do for your business, I'd love for you to head over to dripjobs.com, sign up for a free demo, and get your team involved, and let us sit with you and show you how powerful this software is. It's going to save you time. It's going to make you money, and you're going to love the features that are built into Dripjobs. So if you want to check it out, head over to dripjobs.com, and we will give you first priority, being a podcast listener, to be one of the very first to try out Dripjobs in your home service business. I'm super excited to share that with you, and I'll catch you on the next episode.